remember much about last night. Woke up on a couch sunrise. Saw the living to this black
Well, I guess it's Good Morning Nanton Live, kind of a Halloween edition this morning. So, not to throw everybody off there, but yeah, we're having a little fun with Halloween. And we had it for the very first time. We did a promo here Thursday, and for the very first time, Facebook caught us on copyright infringement on the music we were playing at the beginning. So, I didn't want to play too much of the music either. Anyway, my name is David Gale. I'm your host, producer, and DJ in town here for Nanton, my favorite hat now. I'm wearing all the time. And you guys are tuned in to Good Morning Nanton Live. So make sure you get your comments in. Let's have some banter back and forth and some fun this morning. Speaking of fun, we have our other producer and producers. And who's what's going on here? Amanda, is it first official snowfall of the season? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. On Arizona, it's so cold.
Well, I think you look great. But you know what? It is a little bit cold, so I'm gonna take this and put this on here. So, and we got our first comment coming in. Keep those comments coming in to keep us warm, you guys. So, oh, look at this. We've got the Bustard family joining us this morning. My dad said he was going to see us in a little bit, so I'm expecting that my dad's going to be here as well. So your dad's here, and then we have our other new producer here. Decide to stick around for another week. We got Michael Sherman. So Michael, and look at this. Your dad's already being a smart aleck. What is this? Not even cold yet.
It's cold enough.
Yeah, it's cold. Oh, look at this. And my dad, he stepped in too. I'm looking good for 29. Yeah, I had the birthday and everything this past week. I don't have birthday days. I always say every year I don't really care about my birthday too much. Not making a big deal of it. I think
and then it lasts like a month.
Yeah, and then my birthday lasts a month. Yeah. So Michael, let's get back to you. Look at this. You're back on the show today.
Yes. Hello.
So we didn't scare you away last week.
No, not at all.
That's good. Glad to have you back. So I have another person there that can take over if we need. Look at this.
I'll help you.
Look at this. My dad saying hi to Gary. Gary saying hi to my dad. They're just going to have their own side conversation on our show. So anyway, we got some pretty exciting stuff happening today. We got a couple of guests. We got 3 companies we're featuring. Actually 4 companies because we got a bit of a theme this week. It's the theme is oh, look at this. Gary. Hi, Rick. You guys, we're trying to do a show here. Why don't you just go call each other? And then who's that? Kim, Jason, Skull Cameron.
Kim's a cousin of mine.
Oh, Kim's a cousin of yours. Okay.
In St. John, New Brunswick.
Oh, so we got people out east again joining us.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So people from all over the world join us for our show just to see what's going on and see what's happening. So what do we got going on today? We've got you're at NAPA. So not really a live on location, but you're there just kind of helping out Shane from NAPA, who's the new owner there, and we're going to do an interview with him today. And then we've got Jodie Henniger, who's going to be on the show today, and we're going to talk about her photography. And she actually is the photographer who took that Westview photo that got commissioned by the town. So we're going to talk to her about that. I found out before we started the show. And then we are also going to talk to her about Southern Alberta Towing, because we found out that she represents William, who actually owns the company. William is a little bit, we won't say anything, but he's taking care of the kids today. That's what we'll say. Okay. So, and then some anonymous Facebook user here watching and working at the same time.
Is that Carrie? Carrie, is that you? She was complaining the other day. Why is it always Facebook users? So if it's Carrie, then hello.
Okay. Carrie, is it you? You guys, if you're a Facebook user and anonymous, you can put your name in there so we know who you are. So yeah, we had a kind of a theme going this week. We had grand openings of businesses. Now Napa, not necessarily a new business in town, but we got a new owner. So they had a bit of a grand opening celebration yesterday. And then we had somebody else in town who had a grand opening as well. And I thought actually we would play that because we're hoping to have Jodie on the show in the next couple of weeks here. So why don't we take a look at her grand opening?
Hi, good morning. My name is Jodie Nanton and I'm the new owner of Jodie's Cafe.
So how's everything been going with the grand opening?
Grand opening was amazing. It was more than what I could ever have dreamed of. There was so much support and love that came in, and I was just so humbled with how it all went.
Listen, I know that you took over a spot from Teasery, but Teasery's still involved with you. So how did that partnership come about?
Oh, absolutely. Just because Jodie's Cafe is in the space doesn't mean that Teasery doesn't have a huge presence in there. She was kind of wanting a bit of a slowdown, and she needed someone to kind of come in and take over some of the other part of the space. So it's a great partnership how I've kind of taken over the reins in that way, and she's still remaining her presence in the store and selling her great loose leaf teas and giftware, and she can remain continuing on doing that.
Oh, that smells amazing. Matches my sweater too.
There you go. That was one of the grand openings that was happening this past weekend. We have some more people that are jumping on here. We got Barb Curl. I just saw her this past week, actually. Says hey to Dave and Amanda. And now, Barb, you know that Michael Sherman is joining us for the show. So he's helping out with the show now. We haven't scared him away since last week. He decided to come back and brave it one more time. So we'll see. We'll see how long he lasts before he goes, oh, my God, these guys are too crazy. Don't worry. I'm not going to talk about your hand today. That's right. Yeah. And then what have we got? Gary saying something. I'm not even reading these. So, hey, Amanda, while you're at Napa, could you check to see if they have the kit to redo batteries? Well, we'll ask Jane about that. We'll see if he's got it. Oh, it's an acid kit, he said, an acid kit. So, and then Barb says hi to Michael. So this is awesome, you guys. This is what keeps us warm in the morning is you guys getting on here and, talking to us and commenting and bantering back and forth and just having some fun. So let's talk about some stuff that's happening in Nanton, because that's what the show is all about, is to bring attention to the events that are happening in Nanton, as well as bring attention to our neighbors, our community, our, the organizations and the associations, societies in town, as well as the businesses. But we have something really special happening at the end of the month here. Of course, everybody knows that it's Halloween. That's why we did a little bit of a Halloween intro there. So we have the Nanton Virtual Halloween Dance Party, and it's coming up on Sunday, November 1st. So we're going to give the kids a chance to go trick-or-treating, if that's actually going to happen in some form this year. On the Saturday, I know that the Nanton Elevators Society is going to be doing a movie on Saturday night as well. So we decided that we would actually hold the party as kind of a wrap-up, because Halloween's happening on the weekend. So we'll call it a Halloween weekend in Nanton, and we're going to be wrapping it up with this virtual dance party on Sunday, November 1st. Now, the really cool thing about this virtual dance party is we have a couple really neat things happening. So let me just bring it up here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, look at what I've got here. So if you guys can see this, and I'll show you there we go. Okay, so I'm holding what is a ticket here in my hand for the virtual dance party. So we've got businesses that actually have these tickets. So some of the businesses so far that are participating are CIBC, Sweet Queen, Because I Said So, The Hive, Cowboy Country, and Haywired. And actually, Cowboy Country was introduced to me by Shane from Napa, and she really got a kick out of the fact that he said he's going to throw her under the bus for this. So we'll talk about that in a second, because he's actually sponsoring Cowboy Country, doing a kind of a pay it forward. We got a pay it forward program that we're going to talk about in a second as well. But with this ticket, what you do is you can go into any of these businesses, and they're going to tear off the bottom here. I don't know if I'll be able to tear it off really well here while we're actually on the show. There we go. And tear that off. So this ticket gets thrown into kind of a bucket or something like that. The customer, you if you go into those stores, we'll get this, and it gives you all the instructions right here of how to participate in the virtual dance party that night. And then what we do is on the show, you have to be actually on the show, and we'll draw your ticket, hopefully draw your ticket, and you'll end up winning some prizes on the show that night. So remember, that is Sunday, November 1st, and we're doing a little bit earlier because we know it's Sunday and the kids got to go to school the next day, so they got to get to bed. So we're going to do 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock that night. So let's go back to the Pay It Forward program. So the Pay It Forward, what that means is that we have contest sponsors. So the contests that we do on the show for the 2 hours, we'll do probably about 6 contests, are going to feature some of the businesses in town. So we have CIBC that's going to pay it forward. They're actually sponsoring the contest for another company. We also have, who we're talking to today, Shane, NAPA Auto Parts, is also paying it forward. They're actually going to be paying a sponsorship so that another company can have a contest. And so some of the recipients of the Pay It Forward are these companies so far. We have The Hive, Mosaic, Haywire, and Cowboy Country. So this is what we're doing. So it's really a kind of a cool thing to be able to pay it forward to other businesses in town. And then, you know, what we're going to do is encourage those businesses to pay it forward for the next show and help sponsor another company in town. So that's what we're doing. Did I explain that properly, or is there anything I missed there, Amanda? No, you're kind of muted. So yeah, you got to turn your microphone on.
I think we're in the same room, so I don't want to like double up on sound, but right. I think that was all that you covered. I don't know. Are all of the spots taken for having cards in businesses, or would anyone be able to sign up now?
So I think we have one more spot. We have 4 companies so far that are going to be, and I know I've got, so John Dozeman and Morgan are sponsoring a contest as well. So that's 5. So we might have one more spot for a contest. So we'll have to see. So if anybody's interested in town to sponsor a contest for the show and get involved, you know, we're looking for prizes, of course. So, you know, all of that stuff helps and keeps it entertaining for the kids. So Michael, what are you dressing up as for Halloween? Or is that what you're growing that mustache for?
No, that's not why I'm growing the mustache.
Because
what I'm dressing up on Halloween is an old guy in his house
who doesn't answer the
throwing things at children. Here,
keep your distance.
I always remember the old lady on down the block that scared the living crap out of you when I was a kid. So and she was probably the sweetest person in town, but you know what I mean? So
you're striving to be that person? You're going to be that person this year?
Yeah. I have some sound effects I use at home too, you know.
I'm going to get more sound effects. Did you hear the sound effects at the beginning here? Did you like this one? Listen.
Well, they were good.
Yeah.
Blood curdling.
See that?
Ooh.
Wow. Good.
Oh, for Halloween fun.
I'm going to ask you to forward some of those clips to me, just because I got to run them.
Yeah. I don't know what your dad is referring to here. He says, "Hey, me too," but I don't know. Hey, me too. What? What's he talking about? Just the I guess what he's dressing up as, the old man.
Oh,
sitting
probably
in his house, throwing things. Yeah, that's probably what he's doing. Yeah, that's probably what he's referring to. Anyway, so yeah, let's have some fun on the show today. Thank you very much, Michael, for being here again. I'm going to pop you out, and we are going to get to some of our interviews with our guests today, who are going to be, of course, promoting the businesses that they're running in town. And what do we got? Yeah, just confirmed the old guy thing. Yeah. So,
you're only encouraging him, Dave. You're only encouraging.
I know. I'm encouraging him. I don't mind though. I don't mind. So listen, we're going to have our first guest on here. It's Shane from NAPA, and I was at his grand opening yesterday and put together a little video for him. So I hope, Shane, I know you're in the background there, and I know you're watching this. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Shane Hayes with Nanton Auto Parts. We are the new owners, Cheryl and myself. This weekend, even though we're having our grand opening today, we're carrying our sale prices through all weekend and into next week. So we hope to see you tomorrow or Saturday or even next week. The weather is still good today, and hopefully it holds next week. Come on down, say hi, introduce yourself. Love to have you.
There we go. So that was Napa Auto Parts. And Shane, you're the new owner there. You had your grand opening yesterday. So congratulations on that. Where's your blanket for the cold morning here? We're all bundled up. How about you?
Well, if you knew me, you know I don't like the cold. And Jodie knows I usually got about 3 shirts on anyways most of the year. So I'm always in or out the door, it seems like. So I never know how to dress anymore.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure you're up this morning. You guys just missed the weather yesterday. You happened to sneak your grand opening in just before the snow and the blizzard hit. So congratulations on that, too. Good timing.
Yeah, we were very lucky with that for sure, David. We were watching it, and I seen the wind come up just as we were cleaning up and get the tents down and batten down the hatches. But it was good. We fed just over 100 people, and it was a really good sale day. So we're looking forward to continue to improve things and hopefully gain more market share, I guess they could say, and continue to meet people.
Yes. So I want to actually find out a little bit about how this whole thing came about, you becoming the new owner of NAPA. I mean, you told me a little bit about the story yesterday, but let's introduce you to the rest of the community who are watching this and find out what the backstory is. Tell us all about it.
Well, I've been in town I think we moved here about 22 years ago. And I have actually had a service company in the oil field for a long time and got tired of the ups and downs. And a friend of mine actually owned Alberta Marine and the NAPA parts store. And he asked me to come to work for him and help him out a little bit in the back end. And here we are, 3 years later. And then he was interested in selling off the NAPA parts and keeping the Alberta Marine. And he made me an offer. I made him an offer. And seems like it took forever, but in reality, within 6 months we had her glued together, and a very exciting time.
And so what else do you do? Tell us about, what else Shane does outside of NAPA. And you work in another industry as well.
Yeah, I still, there's some oil wells around here that I still operate, and I have for years, and that I seem to want to just add more and more to my plate all the time, but I like to stay busy in that. So we have a farm just west of town here, and used to have cattle and all that, but we got out of that because I figured I had too many fingers, not enough fingers and too many pies, it seems like. So
yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you're a busy guy. So
yeah, for sure.
So today is also a theme of, everybody having their own strengths, because Jodie's going to be coming on with us a little bit to talk about Williams, Alberta, Southern Alberta Towing. And so I know that you said in the video there that I'm assuming your wife and you are running at NAPA.
That's right. Cheryl and I, we purchased it together and thought, what the heck, we need something else to do. She currently works full time in another job also, but we just find time to make it work. We got a great team in the whole place, but a great team over there with Don and Dwayne and that. So I would say it's a seamless transition, but it's always nice to make some changes and try to streamline things a little bit more. So
yeah. So was she at the grand opening yesterday? Because I know I didn't get to meet her myself, but
she was running around. She was doing some serving of the food. She was the one that made all the desserts and the cake pops. And I've got about 20 text messages this morning that everybody wants a recipe for those desserts. So I forwarded them all to her, and I suspect she's at home writing out the recipe if it's in her head, and going to forward it out to everybody. So she was pretty instrumental in getting all that stuff set up. So I really appreciated that. So
that's great. So we have people that can comment on the show here, and we have an anonymous Facebook user who's saying great things to come for NAPA. So people are noticing. And how many people did you have out for the grand opening yesterday? Do you think it was quite the big party?
Well, we figured out we fed just over 100 in that, and then quite a few came in early in the morning, and it was fairly busy, and even afterwards. So we had a good turnout. Lots of friends and family and that came down out of High River and the surrounding area and that. So it was very, very, very pleased with how it went. So
I'm gonna play one more video here that I took yesterday that I made for you, and then you're gonna talk about this after we play the video. Okay?
All right.
Okay, we are standing with Pat Gibo, and we're just finding out what his involvement with NAPA is. How did you get involved with this grand opening today?
NAPA is one of my major sponsors, and being local, we live here, and we wanted to keep all our sponsors local.
And so what is it you do that would make them one of your major sponsors?
We race in the Anagus Compression Super Truck Series.
So tell us about what we have here then that you apparently race.
It's a Canadian Super Truck Series Super Truck. This is based off of a Dodge Ram. It's 604 crate engine, 400 horse. And we race in Wetaskiwin, Saskatoon, Hythe, Medicine Hat, and hopefully Penticton next year.
And how many races have you won and lost? Tell us what your record is.
I've won a few and lost a few. Just depends on what the truck looks like at the end of the night.
And I see duct tape is your best friend as well as mine.
That's what holds the truck together.
Holds all of our vehicles together. So thank you very much, Pat.
So there you go. So Pat, super truck racer. I did a little interview with him and showed his truck off, and then we got a picture of him right there. So now I hope that Pat, I also just noticed that Pat commented here and said that he's actually watching the show. So this is Pat Super Truck. I don't know if that's his nickname, but I think he's trying to give us an indication of who's talking to us. So, so how did you get involved with Pat? And more importantly, does Pat buy his duct tape from you guys?
Well, I suspect he buys duct tape from us and probably a lot of other places, with judging by where he's been racing that thing. And well, Pat and I met, I don't know, maybe a month ago or so, and we just started to sponsor him. And Greg was actually the push behind that even before I took it over. So I was happy to continue on with that kind of sponsorship of that. And he was kind enough to, he brought the truck down a couple times. Yesterday it was great to have it out there. Got a lot of comments and that on it. And people like seeing that stuff. And it's, again, like Pat said, it's good to be involved in the community and support those businesses and that. So, and I was judging by the video you had there that when I look around, I remember all the other local businesses like Cattleman's Corner and Southern Alberta Towing came out yesterday. And there's quite a few local businesses that came out to show their support to us. And we were definitely grateful for that.
That's really good. So I'll be honest with you. Whenever I think of NAPA, I think auto parts. That's what I think. But you guys really do a lot more than just auto parts, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. We've always had RV parts in that, and this year certainly with all the RVs on the highway, it was a big niche for the business for sure. We do a lot of welding supplies. You know, being in a small town, you have to kind of cater to your immediate community in that, and it saves a lot of people if they don't have to drive to the big cities. So we do tend to carry auto parts, bigger truck parts, ag parts, hydraulic hoses, everything we can do, just a convenience factor for all of our customers.
That's great. So you're also a Husqvarna lawn and garden dealer?
Yes, we are. We've been doing that for a long, long time, and it's been it's a good seller. Again, it saves people from going too far when we can carry that kind of stuff. And you know, with the chainsaws and the weed whippers and mowers and that, and again, the community's been good to look after us with that, and it's been a very, very good part of the market for us for sure.
So I know that NAPA is a big name, you know, all across Canada. You guys are kind of buying into, I would assume that is it kind of a franchise type of situation? Is that how that works?
Well, what they considered is more of an associate store as opposed to a franchise where you're paying a fee all the time. So other than the corporate stores, and there's a couple like in Calgary and that, but most of them are all associate stores across Canada.
So is there a lot of freedom then for you to be able to, you know, put your own stamp on the store as compared to, or as opposed to what the previous owner was doing? And if there is, what kind of things can we expect that, you know, might change if that's the case?
Well, you have lots of autonomy to do your own thing as long as you don't embarrass the brand, I guess, so to speak. So they were great. They've been very, very supportive, getting everything set up. There was 4 or 5 of them that actually came down yesterday out of Calgary, you know, some NAPA representation from different aspects, and it was good to see. So we're going to really try to grow the RV side of that, and obviously the marine side. And I'm really hoping to get more of the farmers even expanding out from this and let them know some of the things we do in here, like hydraulic hoses. You don't have to go to a big dealer in town. We can do that stuff here. So word of mouth, you know, go bang on a few doors and just try to get the word out there and let them know the change and, you know, how can we help them.
So you had a special guest at your grand opening yesterday. I was trying to get her on video, actually. I was going to try to stop her, but she ended up having to leave here quicker than I was able to get to her, which was the mayor. So you saw Jennifer Handley yesterday. She came out to support you at your grand opening.
Yeah, it was very nice. That was another good thing. The town of Nanton came out, and obviously Jennifer was here and presented us with a gift bag, and another counselor that came out, Victor, he came out to wish us success in that. So it's good to see, and they tell me there's big things coming for Nanton, and there's lots of interest for businesses to come here. So again, that's always a good thing. Anything we can do to grow the town.
So I was kind of hoping when I asked what kind of stamp you would put on the store yourself, I was kind of hoping you were going to say, well, every week we're going to be doing the beef on a bun, or the roast beef on a bun, and the popsicle cake sticks and stuff. But is that I can't look forward to coming and having that every week, or what's going on here?
Well, I can eat that at home every week. Those cake pops and that. I'm sure Cheryl could make them all the time, but I don't know if I get Neil Strauss to cook beef every week. But I did appreciate him cooking it on the trigger. It was fantastic. So. We had a lot of help. So one of them was my mother-in-law, and the other one was my neighbor out there. They were waving when you got him in the picture there. And you never want to be too indebted to your mother-in-law. So hopefully she's not watching this, but I appreciated all their help too and their support.
That's great. That's great. So is there anything else you want to share with the town before we let you go? Because I imagine you've got a new store. You got lots of stuff you got to do.
Well, like I said earlier, if you haven't been in, come on in, introduce yourself. We can sit down and have a coffee. Tell me what your needs are, your wants are, and we'll see if we can sure help you out.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Shane. We appreciate you joining us for the show, helping us. Every time a company like yours joins us, it helps us grow the show, and we're hoping that we can reciprocate by sharing this with you, and get this information out to the town and help grow your customer base as well. So.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great day, and congratulations again.
Take care.
Okay, bye. There we go. That was Shane from NAPA Auto Parts. So I want to thank him for joining us on the show, and also want to thank his crew for all the food that was prepared yesterday, because I had a little bit of that, and boy, that was some good stuff. So Mandy, you had some too. You had the popsicle cake, right?
I had the cake pop. It was good. Absolutely.
Cake pop,
yeah.
So,
call it by its proper name. It's a cake pop.
Cake pop.
Not a pop cake.
I'm getting confused. Everything is kind of weird, because we're food is not the way it usually, and celebrations is not with food is not usually the way it was. Because
you've forgotten what cake was?
No, not that.
Is that because on your birthday you didn't get a cake, you got something else?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm getting confused with all this stuff that's happening with celebrations and food, because I'm gonna show a video here that we put together, and we took a little spin on the on this kind of cake. So this was for my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Davy. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Good job.
See, so now you're having pizza for cake and putting candles, wax.
And what into a little kid when you did that.
What did you learn about putting candles in hot pizza, Dave?
I learned that if you're gonna have leftovers and you like cold pizza as leftovers, which I love cold pizza as leftovers, then the wax doesn't taste all that great when you bite into it. I couldn't believe it. I put the candles in there. We were doing it just for fun, and then as soon as I pulled the candle out, there's no wax on the bottom of it at all. It was all in the pizza.
So strange, right?
Well, I thought the candles don't melt that quickly when you got a fire on the top of it, but I didn't think it was going to melt like that. But yeah, that I've got a lot of wax in my system right now. So anyway, we had fun with that, and we had fun with the grand opening yesterday, and we're having fun with more comments. We've got Lenora here. She said she would have made me a cake.
Oh,
we did have an ice cream cake though, right?
We did,
and we still have some. So we're gonna have some more ice cream cake. And yes, my birthday that was on Thursday, that I usually every year go, whatever, birthday, meh, it ends up lasting a month. So
yeah,
we're gonna talk about my birthday for the next month.
He pretends he doesn't care, but
that's right. So my dad, he made a comment while we were in the middle of that last interview, and I just want to share it here. And it had something to do with this. Remember when I played this? So Whoops. He goes, that sounded like my wife when I came out of the shower. So, oh man, thanks, Dad. Appreciate that.
Thanks for the visual, Rick.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask Shane about something. I see he's still on with us. I might get him to, let's see. What about the carrot cake? Gary, the carrot cake was awesome. We should have done an entire 5-minute feature on the carrot cake.
We could have, but I do also want to let everyone know that Dave ate all the icing off the top of the carrot cake and left me the bottom, which was super nice.
No, that's not true. Come on. That's not true at all. So my dad said something else here. He said, sell a receipt with a liter of oil. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to bring Pat back in for a second because Pat, I know you're sitting there watching. So obviously, okay, Pat, you can hear me okay?
That's Shane. Who's Pat?
Oh, sorry, Shane.
I was wondering.
I was thinking about the car driver or the truck driver.
Oh.
So, I apologize. So let's see. You got yourself muted there. Okay, perfect. So we had, let's see, where is that? We had some comments earlier. Oh, this one right here. While you're at Napa, could you check to see if we have the kit to radio battery 6-volt? It's an acid kit. So do you know what he's talking about there?
I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about, but you can buy bulk acid. So usually if you're going to add it into a battery, if it's done, then you usually would just buy a new battery. If it's gone dry, you might have already done damage to it. So you're best just to add distilled water, just the old school stuff, if there's anything left in it, and charge it. But you can buy new acid.
Okay, so that Gary wants to know that, but we're not going to encourage him to buy acid.
Not that kind of acid.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Shane, not Pat. I apologize. Okay, and then who do we have here? So you suspect that this is Carrie, eh? I'm still watching and working. She's not letting us know who it is, though. And then let's see. Just want to say that Napa is a good place for parts. Yes, it is. I agree with that. And then my dad, he's apologizing for something. Oh my goodness. Wow. I can't keep up to it all. It's crazy. Okay. Let's see. What are we doing next here? Producer Amanda, Winter Queen now. What's next?
What do we do next? I think we're bringing Jodie on next, right? So we had that tie-in of the picture of Pat, the super
let's see that.
guy.
Let's see that again. Okay, so this picture of Pat here that we just showed the video of, or a super truck driver. Let's see, and this Shane and Cheryl will be amazing there. So this actually was taken by Jodie, who's going to be our next guest, right?
That's right.
Okay, so let's see.
It's Pat. Oh,
not sure of my name come up. So yeah, it's a Facebook thing. Call Facebook and give him hell. Okay, so we've got Pat there with his super truck, and this picture was taken by Jodie, and Jodie is a photographer and also a representative of another company we're talking about today, which is Southern Alberta Towing, and we're going to bring Jodie in because, of course, there's Jodie. Jodie, can you hear and see us okay?
Yep.
Okay. Michael, I'm going to kick you out and we're going to talk. So when did you get this picture here?
So we actually went to a car show in Calgary. We actually took our 2016 Hellcat to it. So it was at the Hotel Blackfoot. So obviously Pat was there. So I went around and just photographed bunch of the old vintage cars, and obviously photographed Pat's truck.
Oh, cool. Okay. And so you, of course, are a photographer, and we're going to talk about your photography company. So why don't we talk about that? So what's the name of your photography company?
Shutter Close Photography.
Okay, let's give everybody a little bit of background. The whole point of this show is to show people who you are, introduce you to people who don't know you, and make sure that they know everything that you do. So how did the company come about, and how long have you been in Nanton?
So the company came about, like I used to be like a weekend photographer, kind of warrior type thing. It came a full business about 5 years ago, and then since having my kid, I was actually able to focus on it full time. Prior to that, I worked for Alberta Marine for 6 years. So that's how I know Shane and Greg and Lorraine and all of them. I've been in Nanton for, probably 6, 7, 8 years now. So I, decided to move here because I was working here. And sorry for those people who do not like spiders. They're in there. So I moved here because I was originally living in High River, and I was driving back and forth, and I'm like, this is stupid. Like I can't afford, fuel. And then so I moved to town and have never left.
You said from High River?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So my dad joins us for the show every once in a while, and he wanted to let you know that you got a very cool name for your company. So, okay. So what mainly do you focus on as a photographer? Has it changed over the years, or?
It has changed. I don't really focus myself just to one area versus another. But for the most part, like I really do like portraits and families. I'm obviously a car person, so I do like the whole car photography. So that's always going to be a love of mine. But before it was mainly wildlife, and then when I had my daughter, it just kind of everything shifted because kids grow so fast. People hardly get family photos done because they never have time, or certain things come up. So
So tell me something. What is the one thing, because as you know, I'm a DJ. So as a DJ, of course, I go and do a show, and there's always kind of a misperception of what people think a DJ should do or should be able to do, or and I'm just kind of wondering if like photographers, you kind of deal with some of that stuff you'd like to let people know or set the record straight of. These are big misconceptions about the photography industry or photographers or whatever. My biggest thing is people think that, and I apologize to everybody. They think that I should be able to work for $200 a night when I run a business and only get paid 2 nights a week. So that's a big misconception. And I end up, having to educate people on stuff like that. What about you? Is there something that you could let people know about right now that you think is, people need to know?
I think for us, like for photographers in general, is the whole money conception thing. So again, same thing as you, people think that you can, for example, photograph a whole wedding for $200. But you have to think about it. If you spend 8 hours at a wedding, you still have to post-process images after, go through 2,000 images, it's pretty time consuming. So you also have to take into account, all of your gear, your editing software, your time for spending all day, with bridesmaids, groomsmen, and, chit-chatting with people. So I think that's a bit of a misconception, that people kind of think that photography is easy and it's simple and you can do it for cheap. Don't get me wrong, people do mini sessions. I plan on doing like Christmas mini sessions, but mini sessions are kind of limited to, say like 30 minutes for, X amount of dollars. Every photographer charges different. It's just based on, if they do it full-time, part-time, stuff like that.
Somebody else is chiming in here saying plus the $10,000 worth of equipment it takes to photograph a wedding.
Yes, yeah. Actually, we recently tallied up all of my stuff, and everything within my camera bag is over $10,000, and I literally pack that camera bag everywhere with me. It doesn't really leave my sight, and I have a hard time when people are like, "Oh, do you want me to hold your camera bag?" I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got somebody here again. Maybe this is Pat. I'm not sure, but he says great pictures, Jodie. And
I'm gonna jump on for this one. For the people that say their name's not coming up, you actually have to go to the desktop side and then click on this live thingy, and then a little box is going to pop up, and you have to grant access for StreamYard to know it's you, and then from your mobile will come up your name.
Okay.
So it's not Facebook, it's just permissions and access.
If everybody caught that, then that's what you need to do. So so we got another we got a question here for you. So if that's okay, have you ever done a photo booth? Have you ever worked with photo booths, or any plans on doing that?
I don't currently have a photo booth. It is in the talks, probably in the near future, maybe. But right now it's mainly mobile. I always find, like, especially with photographing kids, is they seem more comfortable and, I don't know, happier in their home environment. I know when I was a kid and my mom used to drag me to Walmart to get photos done, I hated it. Just mainly because I wasn't familiar with the environment and whatnot. So I do plan on having like a home studio type thing, but when, I'm not 100% sure. I have done photo booth stuff. I volunteer with the Calgary Police Foundation. So at some of their events, they do have like a photo booth. So that's not saying you have to come there for family photos, but when they do host their events, they do have a photo booth. So
yeah. So very interesting that you were commissioned by the town to provide this image here. So how did that all come about? What happened there?
So I was at the Nanton Fire Hall doing a couple photos for the guys, and it was completely unplanned. So landscape photography is, you can't plan it. So the funny thing is, I left the fire hall. It was probably, I don't know, 8 o'clock maybe. And I was driving over to Dairy Queen to go get blizzards to go home with. And I'm driving down the main drag, and I happened to glance over to the west. I was like, oh, the sky is so pink. And of course, I had all my camera equipment. And I was like, should I? I'm like, no, I really want to get home. You know, I have blizzards because I have an inner fat child, and I really like blizzards. And so I grabbed the blizzards, and I was pulled out, heading south just past the Flying J. And I was like, nope, I have to go see this. I can live with a melted blizzard. So I made a right. And the thought that was racing through my head is, where can I go? What can I set up? What can I have in the background? And my mind is like searching for places to have that perfect image. But then I realized that the sun was setting too fast. And I was like, oh my God, I have to pull over. So I pulled over just at the approach, like on the 5-mile stretch through the approach just by the pond. And I didn't even have time to switch lenses. So I just grabbed my one camera body that had my 50mm lens on. And I basically started running up the path because the sun was setting faster than I was walking. So I got off 3 or 4 shots. And all I really said to myself was, I really hope my settings were perfect. And I got the image.
That's amazing.
That's how that happened. It was a toss-up between a photo or a blizzard, and I came home with melted blizzards. But I was so happy about the photo. Pardon?
Was it worth it? Was it worth it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like, what a great story.
I didn't expect like this photo just to kind of go viral as it did. I was honestly happy with it. So when I shared it, and then it kind of got shared pretty much everywhere, I was like, oh. And then I got tagged. Bruce Duncan actually tagged me in Jennifer Hanley's post asking about, you know, who the photographer was. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to make it this far, but hey, I'm that person.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the photo is going to be used for when it comes to the town. I don't know if I have seen it on Facebook. I've seen it mentioned. I don't know if they've actually used it yet for anything. Yes. Awesome. That's right. It's awesome. So do you know if they've used it for anything up to this point, or?
Not that I know of. But I'm pretty excited to see what it's used for. It's becoming one of my favorite images. So
that's great. So my dad's chiming in again here. Jodie, can you please go to Dave and Amanda's, take a nice photo of them and send it to me? I'd be happy.
I can do that, Rick.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dad. Okay, so yeah, we've got a photo here. So this was just recent, actually, and this kind of ties into a person who owns another company we're going to talk about today. So why don't we use this as a segue? So tell us about this picture that you took and what you were doing at this wedding.
So this is why I couldn't be on the show last Saturday. I'm pretty sure Jessica probably would have murdered me if I missed her wedding. So I was the photographer for Jess's wedding. So Jess and Owen, I should actually say. So we did their photos here and around town. This photo is actually just taken at Boomer's Hill, so in the park. So that's why I couldn't be on the show last Saturday.
So yeah, you were photographing that wedding. We saw throughout the day. We saw the pictures coming in, and you posting about it. And so Owen is actually involved with William's company. Is that right?
Yeah. He helps us out here and there. Owen is employed with Citywide Towing. Okay. So Owen did work for Southern Alberta Towing for quite a while. So yeah, he's tied into all of this. He's all of a part of this little family we have. So yeah.
So we were talking, and I'm poking fun at William. There's William there, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're poking fun at William because he's not coming on representing his own company, but he's just like the rest of us, where Amanda has her strong suits and her skill set, and I have my skill set, and so we kind of do what we're best at. And so I've been kind of making excuses for William, saying, oh, he's at home taking care of the kids, and so that's why he can't be on, or he's busy working, and that's why he can't be on. But we want to represent his company, and I understand that William's not, this isn't his favorite thing to do. It's not his favorite thing to get on and public speak. And so you have that, obviously you're really great at it. So you have that skill set. So you come on and represent him.
Yep.
That's perfect. And so what do we need to know about Southern Alberta Towing?
I don't know. What is there to know? So I do all of Southern Alberta Towing social media. Okay. I absolutely love things social media related. I don't know. I like to educate people. So when I entered the towing industry, it was a learning curve. I've rode firsthand in the trucks, some like during the summer and during the absolute worst blizzard possibly I've ever been passenger in. And just to see the close calls that has happened is unbelievable. So we always stress for people to obviously slow down and move over, especially, for example, this photo here. So Josh, our employee, is actually the one in this photo. This just goes to show of how little room an operator, whether it's our operator or Citywide or AAA or any tow company out there, have to work on the side of the road. So if you are in the lane right beside us and you don't slow down or move over, could you imagine being that person that has to hook up the dollies and have a car doing 80 plus K because obviously they don't slow down, most people. Thank you to the ones who do, but for the ones who don't, I mean, I don't want a vehicle cruising past me at 120 when there's that little room. And the car beside it is a perfect example of how little room there is and how, an error could happen so quickly. We did have pylons out for this one, so it obviously forces people to move over. We've had instant problems in the past where pylons have got ran over, and it's just because drivers are not either paying attention or there's some confusion of what side of the pylons they should actually drive on. So that's unfortunate sometimes, but yeah.
Well, you always drive on the side, where the emergency vehicle's right in front of you, right?
Yeah. Yes. Drive on that side.
So you'd always go to the right side and make sure you're in the, that's correct.
Yeah. But
I was going to bring up, sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to bring up that my dad, who's watching the show, today. He was a truck driver as well, and he popped in and actually did say, I was a tow truck driver many, many years ago. So he was a bus driver after he was a tow truck driver, but he played in this game as well. And I remember going out and being with my dad when he was working as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary situation. Some days are good, and you know, people move over and they slow down well in advance, which is great. But we did a vehicle rollover, and I was actually in our deck truck, and we almost had a semi hit us. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are you doing? You could see our lights from a fair distance, and he just didn't bother to move over. But so that's, like I said, that's the thing we always stress about, you know, slowing down and moving over is for the, you know, 2-3 minutes that it takes you to slow down and move over just for that little area makes a huge difference, right? Our tow operators, and every tow operator out there has a family to go home to, just as much as you have a family to go home to. So it'd be kind of nice if people, and it was amazing. I shared a post a little bit ago about, it was a CPS member shared that somebody was ticketed for speeding past a tow truck on the side of the road with their lights on. It's actually on the Southern Alberta towing page. It's a little ways down, but the fine was $900-ish. I don't recall how much exactly it was, but it was amazing to read and see how many people didn't know they have to slow down and move over for tow operators. We are partially considered emergency response vehicles. We're not completely labeled emergency response, but we are considered that. So that's a thing.
So let's quickly talk about, so Amanda and I ended up going out yesterday and getting our winter tires. So we bought our winter tires for our truck, getting ready for winter. Of course, the snow falls today. So we went, wow, perfect timing to get those winter tires on. So, you know, preparing for the winter and maintenance and stuff, what kind of advice do you guys give about that?
So obviously,
I guess you can actually use this to segue into going to NAPA to help out, couldn't you?
Actually, I sent Shane a text message saying he and I need to talk after this. So obviously, winter tires is a big thing to have. The other thing we always recommend is a roadside emergency kit. So I'm not sure if Shane is still on this, but Shane and I will chit chat about that after. So a roadside emergency kit comes with a shovel, triangle, so you can set it outside your vehicle. It comes with candles. You can toss granola bars in there and whatnot. It's just in the event that if you ever went into the ditch during, you know, a really bad blizzard, and it's 3-4 hours for a tow truck to get to you, right? You can easily dig out your exhaust. Obviously, you don't suffocate from, you know, from carbon monoxide poisoning or whatever it is. But
I think that's right.
Yeah. So it's always a good thing to have. Obviously, keeping distance between you and the next vehicle. Don't be in a rush, you know, to get to work for Monday morning or any other work day that there is. But and then obviously just driving to the road conditions. So just because you have a 4x4 doesn't mean, you know, you need to speed past everybody. I know a while back there was a thing people were saying about slow vehicles on the road. It shouldn't be on the road, but we also need to take into fact that not everybody is keen on Alberta winter driving. So for those people who do drive slow, obviously, you know, put your four-ways on so people at least have some heads up that you're going slow. But obviously just drive to the road conditions, dress for the weather. I don't know how many times we've responded to a fuel call out on the 22 and, you know, people are wearing like summer clothes and they don't have a winter jacket.
That's
and it's
me.
Like,
I'm from Saskatchewan. Yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan, and I often go out in the time with my shorts on. I should have something warmer in the back just in case, but yeah. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, so obviously dress for the weather, especially if you have kids. So that's a big thing as well.
Wow. So really the theme here is really safety and preparation and stuff. So it looks like Amanda's got something she wants to pop in and say.
Yeah, I often am nagging Dave about put your jacket, if we, get into an accident, you're gonna freeze to death. So secretly I pack extra clothes for him in the truck when we're
Thank you for that, Amanda.
I never knew that. I guess that's what secretly means.
If it were up to me, we'd have like sleeping bags and food and water, even if we're, driving down the street. But
well, and you know what? Because everybody knows that we moved to Nanton from Calgary. So when I was in Calgary, I mean, you always had a place you could go. You weren't far from someplace, right?
Yeah.
But now that we're in Nanton, you got to kind of consider those kind of things, that you could be out in the middle of, between a couple towns, and you could be 10 kilometers away from getting to someplace safe or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and unfortunately, the likelihood of somebody stopping to see if you need assistance or you need a ride is pretty slim nowadays. Just with the whole like vehicle thefts and, people being assaulted and whatnot. So, by dressing for the weather, David, not pointing fingers at anybody, is something to consider.
Michael, stop playing with the banners.
He keeps putting it on and I keep taking it off. So we're gonna have a conversation about that.
Banners, Michael.
I don't think he wanted to announce that in the middle of Jodie's interview, but
no.
That's okay.
Michael's getting trigger happy here. He's getting excited. Don't worry, we'll get to that, Michael. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gary says, good for you, Amanda.
Thanks, Dad.
So, yeah. Anyway, okay, I think we understand the theme, and of course, we have AMA memberships that people can get to as another backup. Possibility. I had AMA for quite a while. I don't have it now, but again,
we do have.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do. Oh, yeah.
It's another secret thing, right?
Amanda is on the ball. I like this.
Wow.
See, and that's the bonus thing about having a wife is they're like, I need to think about this. Whereas the man is like, get in, let's go.
So the other thing I thought was kind of funny.
I'm glad I host my own show here so I can learn stuff about it.
It's fine. Is for years Dave and I would argue about winter tires, and I would be like, I'm an Alberta girl. I know how to drive in the winter. I don't need winter tires. And then finally I agreed to get winter tires, and I will admit that they make a big difference. So
they do.
Yeah. It took them about 4 years to get me there, but they do.
When I was working for Alberta Marine, I got them involved in Goodyear, and that's just because at that time, obviously, we work hand in hand with the RCMP for certain jobs, and so I wanted to be able to supply tires for the RCMP and the other detachments that I could. So I actually learned lots. And I mean lots about winter tires and all seasons or all weather, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot more to, just the round tire that's on your vehicle. There's a fair bit more to understanding tires and the compounds, all of that good stuff. And yeah, so as Pat did mention, I do help run the Coyote Racing page.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys aren't a part of that, definitely go check it out. And so another thing, Amanda, since you said about being an Alberta girl and you know about winter driving, so I also help run the Southern Alberta Commutes in Calgary Facebook page. So it's about traffic updates, and I also just recently helping out with the Nat commutes. And
great page.
Yeah. And so coming from a photographer's background, I love photos. So obviously I'm not saying, drive down Highway 2 and take a photo while you're in the driver's seat. Don't do that. But if you have a passenger and they take a photo and post it, like I absolutely love images, because what one person might consider dangerous roads to me is like typical Alberta, I'm still going to work weather. So I always like pictures, but obviously be smart about it.
Yeah, the more visual you can make it, the better people will understand. The more people.
Yeah. And then Nanton Commutes page, Facebook page, if you're new to Nanton, is an awesome resource. I used to have to drive to High River every day, and I would check that first thing in the morning because somebody has already been on the road, been to Calgary, been to Okotoks, and so they give a good indication of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to mention about it, or?
No, I don't think so. We might, David, you and I might have to talk again probably in November because William and I were talking about doing a giveaway.
Okay.
But I have to run it past another organization first, just before I go start saying things that I shouldn't, because that'll get me in some trouble with the wrong people.
Like
so,
that guy?
Well, that guy, and with Amy. So I have to talk with Amy first about something I kind of want to do just to help people out.
Okay.
But I have to get permission about it first. So.
Sure. Yeah, we can talk. We're up for anything, helping out in any way we can. So, okay, well, if there's nothing else, then why don't we say goodbye? Thank you very much for being on the show this morning. I know it took a couple weeks, but we got you on here. That's good.
No, thank you. I appreciate you having us on. So,
crickets.
Oh. Where's the crickets?
So, no, Gary, you did not win the prize today. There's no prize for you, so we apologize, but maybe next time. What's this here? Judy says, yes, I'm always update on Nanton commutes when I'm on the road. Yeah, we all are. So yeah, let's get everybody on that page. It's a great page to get information about the highways and stuff. And it's getting cold, getting wintry, and it's important to keep communication of how everything is going out on the highways. So we use that road all the time. Dad, great show today, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And Jodie, thank you very much for adding to the show. We'll try to make sure that we promote this as much as possible so that everybody can learn about all the organizations in town and what we're up to. Okay. So have a great day. Enjoy Halloween, and we'll talk to you another time.
Thanks.
Okay. So we got to bring Michael in because he's been
Michael now.
Now the time, Michael. So last week we had Randy on from the North End Esso and Liquor, and so he said that he was giving away $25 gift cards to winners every week. So we said that we would help him out by getting the announcement out there of the winner. And so now, Michael, is the time to hit the first banner. Now, you were doing it before. Don't tell me you can't do it now.
Yes.
Good job. We got it.
Where's the drum roll?
Winner of
Crickets and drum roll.
Esso and Liquor $25 gift certificate. The winner is and Sean. Okay, we did it. Perfect. Good job, Michael.
Thank you. Hey, I'd like to get a big button.
Yeah, I know you'd love to have a big button. I get it. So Gary says agree on the show, and great show, David. We'll talk again. I'm going to assume that's Pat again. So thanks a lot, Pat, for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who joined us today. We appreciate everybody's contributions, and we are going to say goodbye for another week, and hopefully next week we'll have just as good a show as we had this week. So let's say goodbye to everybody. And remember, Halloween's coming up. So what's that mean? It means the Nanton virtual Halloween dance party coming up. So if you guys want to participate in any way, let us know, because of course we are an entertainment company and we do. Amanda, do you have that slide? We always like to show that slide. You want to show the slide? Yeah. Ready? That one. Yes. Let's show. There you go. So we are an entertainment company, Euro Productions Entertainment Services, servicing weddings, holiday events, birthdays, pool parties, community events, fundraisers. What does that one say? Oh, home yard parties. Can't read it. Sporting events and school dances. So that's what we do. And we really love doing it. In fact, you know what? We were talking about our streaming DJ service. We got a show for tonight. So we're going to be at Schnapps in Calgary. Yeah. So we're going to be providing our DJ services, our streaming DJ services there. And
you don't even have to drive to town to do it. See? You don't have to be on the crazy roads. So
I don't have to be on the crazy roads. I can do it right from my studio, right where I am right now. So that is the great thing about it. And it keeps another person out of their bar, so they don't have to worry about, how many people are in their capacity or anything like that. And we've got a few more other people here. Randy, thank you for the plug. And Judy, see you next Saturday. Thanks a lot, Judy. We appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's all say goodbye. And as we remind you that it is a Halloween edition month, so we're doing kind of Halloween stuff all month. So for the next few weeks, so let's get those sound effects back up there. We've got that, and then where's that scream again? There we go. And this and that. Okay, guys, let's have a good week, and we'll see you next week on Good Morning Nanton Live. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.